Hey guys, so today we're going to be fully setting up the GAN 15, which GAN sent to me. Alright, so here we have the GAN 15 in the black internals. So I actually already fully unboxed this on my TikTok. I just put everything back in the box so we can set it up together. And we can basically go through the full unboxing process again. So, of course, we got the little cube box over here. And it opens just like this, which is really cool. And then we got the accessories box, which comes with... So we obviously got the instructions manual, which I'll low-key be needing, but okay. We got the handy cube bag. I've actually been using this a lot, with the GAN logo on it. And then, of course, we got the accessory tools. So we got the little, fire hydrant thingy for, adjusting tensioning and stuff. And then this is actually really cool. So this is actually a center cap remover tool. You know how on most 3x3, you kind of have to, fly your fingernail under each of the 6 center caps, and by the end of it, your, fingernails are, peeling off? This is actually a really helpful tool. You just stick it on top of here, press down on, the button, and the center cap comes right off, which is honestly amazing. So then, we have the tensioning system right over here. I'm not 100% sure on how it works, but I know one of them is for, tensioning and everything, and then the other one is center cap distance. Not center cap distance, center distance travel or something. We'll look at the instructions. So one of them is for center travel, and then the other one is for tensioning. And then there's also included magnets in the box here, which is really cool. So there's 3 settings for that. So it looks like this inner number here is the center traveling stuff. Yes. So this is the center travel, the inner part here. And then the outer number, I don't know if you can see that well, is the tensioning. So in the inner circle, the smaller the number, the tighter the cube feels. And it's a little helpful graph. And then on the tensioning, the bigger the number, the tighter the cube feels. So I think I'm going to put the center travel on 4. I think 4 seems like a pretty good number. And the tensioning on 5, I think. So currently the inner circle is on 2. And I don't know if you can see the outer circle, but I think it's currently at... I have no idea, actually. And then the outer circle is currently at 4. I don't know how well you can see that, but there's little numbers on the outer circle. So I'm going to remove all the center caps first, and then we can set up each side. So I really like how easily the center caps came off with the tool. I'm really happy they included a tool, because usually it's really hard to take off all of them. So that's really helpful. It saves my fingers from a lot of stress. So let's do the center travel, the inner circle first. I'm going to put this on 3. So it says we just adjust it by turning it clockwise. Put this in here so it aligns. And we turn. Yeah, okay, I'm getting it. So currently it's at 5. I'm trying to get this down to 3. Okay, there we go. It's at 3 now. There's a click each time it goes down a number, which is really helpful. So there we go. Let me see if I can focus that up. And to do the other side, you just flip the adjustment tool around and you do a similar thing. So I'm just going to do the exact same thing on the other 5 sides. Okay, so I fully tensioned each center. I will say it's a little hard to get used to this adjustment tool. I think it's very different to other cubes I've tried out. Although I think once I got used to it, it became a lot easier to do. It's not anything too hard, but I'd say if you're new to setting up cubes and stuff, it might be a little tricky at first. But let's put the center caps back on. I've noticed with other GAN cubes and other cubes in general, center caps can be a little hard to put back on. But this cube's center caps are totally fine and really easy to put back on, which is great. You just have to line it up correctly and just press back in. There we go. So the cube feels a lot more to my liking now. So right now, it still feels a little too unstable for me and a little bit uncontrollable, which is fine because we can adjust it even further with the magnetic adjustment. They have the GAN magnetic system with 3 settings. The white medium setting, which is what the cube's on right now. The blue weak setting, and the green, which is the strongest. So you can actually find the other magnets here in the cube box. So you can kind of see in the bottom, you can kind of just remove the bottom and it reveals all the other magnets, which is really cool. So you actually just put the magnets in the corners. So you just replace everything. So you use another thing on the adjustment tool, which is really cool. I like how it's basically only one tool for all the settings. You don't need multiple tools or anything. Apart from the center cap thing, which is really helpful. We have to disassemble the cube for this, which is pretty easy. We just take an edge piece out. Yeah. So I've only done a few solves in this, so the cube's like not dirty at all yet. So I won't be cleaning the cube out. So the cube comes off pretty easily, just like this. So another thing I will say is that I like how the center caps can't be easily taken off with your finger, and you kind of really do need the tool. Sometimes when you're taking apart other 3x3 cubes, the center caps come like flying off, which is really annoying. So I like how these just stay on the cube. Another thing I'll mention is if you had the GAN 14, you'll remember that there's magnets in the edge pieces, which would be right here. But they actually moved it in the GAN 15, which I think plays a big part in how light the cube is. The cube overall feels really lightweight and it's really nice in my opinion. Okay, so you input it like that. You turn it 60 degrees. And then you just take it out like that. And I'm going to replace it with the strongest ones, which are the green ones. Okay, I get it now. So you kind of just have to... Okay, so I got one corner magnet in. I really like how this magnet storage box thing is designed. I think it's a really neat way to keep all your magnets in place and not really worry about losing any of them. Okay, so I reassembled the cube. As you can see, well, you can't see. But I replaced all the magnets with green ones. If I'm going to be honest, it took a while to get used to. I don't think it's necessarily the easiest adjustment system. I think especially for beginners, it might be a little hard to be able to fully grasp the system and to be able to fully understand how to replace the magnets. I just think compared to some other systems I've seen from GAN in the past, I think this is a little trickier than previous ones. But nevertheless, I still think the adjustment system and even the magnet system is still great. I still think it was relatively easy to set up. And although I faced a few struggles, I think after a bit, I definitely got the hang of it. So this is how the cube turns now. Yeah, so I like it a lot more with the new stronger magnets. It definitely feels a lot more controllable and stable. I think overall, the tensioning system is great, especially this center cap tool. I think the magnet system is a little tricky to figure out, but I think apart from that, the tensioning system is great, and the magnet system isn't too hard to figure out. I think it just takes a little time to get fully used to, but once you get the hang of it and fully grasp it, it's completely fine. So I think there's one more thing left to do. I think the cube is still a little too fast and just could be a little better, and we could fix that with lube. So I got my lube bag over here, so let's see. I think I'm just gonna lube this with some Rate 5, some Luna, and probably some Stardust. Okay, so I fully set up the cube and I just lubed the cube. So I think there's only one more thing left to do, which is do some solves. Nice.
You didn't have a reaction.
Oh my god. 8-second solve.
Whoa.
Whoa. Final thoughts. I really like how this cube turns, and I really think it's perfect for my turning style. I think the tensioning system could be a little hard for beginners, a little hard to figure out at first. But I think once you get the grasp of it, and once you get the hang of it, it's actually really nice. It's actually a really nice adjustment system. Okay, so those were my final thoughts on the cube. I'm definitely going to be using this cube at future competitions and going to be using this as my main 3x3. Thanks for watching. Bye!